Thank you for the introduction, Brian, and thank you all for coming. As Brian mentioned, my name is Ryan Modisette, and my wife and I live in Richmond, Kentucky. We've been here for about a year and a half, but before moving to Richmond, my wife and I lived in Louisville, Kentucky, where I worked full-time and completed a number of graduate degrees in the humanities. Shortly after moving, though, I decided to transition out of higher ed into the field of technology. So I started teaching myself Python and JavaScript, along with computer science fundamentals like data structures and algorithms. After a few months of self-study, I discovered CodeU. Though I've always been a self-starter and a self-learner, I wanted certain things that only a program like CodeU could offer, things like mentorship, networking, support, and feedback. And CodeU made all of that available to me right where I was. For my capstone project, I've created a website, vickymodisette.com, using C# and .NET's Razor pages. Shortly after I started learning to code, my wife came to me and asked if I would build her a website. I put her off initially, and then as I started the CodeU program, I kept thinking to myself, what am I going to do for a capstone project? And at first, I wasn't convinced that building a website would be the best way to showcase my abilities in software engineering. But the longer I thought about it, the more I realized it could be an ideal way to gain experience working with a client, to develop a project plan, and form a minimum viable product that I would have to deliver. So I sat down with her and I talked through what she wanted and drafted a list of requirements. And then I started breaking down those requirements into major tasks and started breaking each task into smaller executable items that I put on a Kanban board. And then I just worked through those items programmatically. Whenever I finished a section, I would meet back up with her, show her my progress, and then get feedback so that I could iterate on what I had. And what I'm presenting to you today is the finished product, which she's quite happy with and meets all of her needs. So here's my contact information, but this is the landing page for the website here. So you have her name with some basic information. Long term, I plan on replacing this background photo here with a picture of the pinnacles at Berea to showcase local scenery. But I wanted to find something like quickly that met the color scheme that I was going for. You'll notice the nav bar at the top and then social media icons that are linked to her account up at the right. One of the major requirements that she needed is she wanted a way to display the information on her CV in a more attractive format. And that's what the About page is for. So here you'll notice she has her name is displayed, basic information about her is provided. I embed her social media feed by calling X's API here. And then off to the left, you'll notice a fixed navigation bar that allows you to scroll to relevant sections on her CV. So other academics can find her, find out what she's researching, and figure out whether or not they would like to work with her on a future research project. She also wanted a section where students could find files for the courses they're taking without logging into Blackboard or Canvas. So I've created this content section here, and students can find the year, the semester, and the particular course they're interested in. And then they're presented with a list of course documents or course files that Vicky has uploaded. So here, you could read this in the browser, you could download this. It functions as it would in most other websites. And then there's a contact page. She wanted people to be able to contact her without disclosing personal information. So here's obviously a dummy form, but we can submit this. And then when that's submitted, all of that information is automatically sent to an email account that she has access to. It's also saved in the website's database and then is fed to a backend that I've created here. So there's a secret admin section that you can log into, and this provides authentication, and that I've set it up such that only certain accounts have access to this information on the back end. So here, Vicky can log in and she can see all of the contact submissions that have been submitted. She can make notes here. She can edit them, delete them as she sees fit. She can search them. If she wants all of the submissions that start with this email address, or she makes notes and she wants to sort all of her contacts by a particular note that she made, she could do that and she would have this data here. Something similar is there for the courses. So she can create a course. She can add however many files she would like at one go. And that information is then fed back to the courses tab here in the content section. So the biggest challenge I had building the website was just having to come up with solutions to so many little problems that I hadn't confronted before. I never implemented authentication or authorization. I hadn't worked with Bootstrap before. I was unfamiliar with Razor page syntax. I didn't know how to use SMTP or how to upload files. So none of those problems were insuperable on their own. But when you have lots of little problems that you have to find solutions for, it can create a major headache. That's why I emphasized at the beginning, I really had to sit down and break larger tasks into smaller tasks until I could actually do this one thing. I can do this one thing and then I can build on it and build on it and build on it until at the end of the day, I have something that meets all the requirements that we agreed to at the beginning. In conclusion, I just want to say I'm eager to keep learning and growing as a developer. And in the near future, I hope to find an internship or an entry-level position where I can contribute to a development team in a meaningful way. Currently, I'm pursuing a master's in computer science at Eastern Kentucky University here in Richmond, and I'm in the process of planning a number of other builds with some developers in the area. Thank you for coming, and I hope to speak to you soon.